today we're going to do what I would call a more intuitive approach to negative space painting. And I want to share with you my process. By intuitive, I mean that I'm not going to draw first. That's just basically all I mean by that. So what we're going to need for this project is some resource photos. I'm going to do flowers today, and I've got several pictures that I think will work. I'm kind of leaning toward this one right here, so that's probably what I will work toward. You're going to need some good watercolor paper. So right now I'm working on 100% rag paper. There's several really good brands out there. You kind of have to experiment to figure out which one you like best, but you want 100% rag. This is 140 pound. You're going to need some brushes. Decent brushes will help. You're going to need one that's fairly large and some smaller ones. Again, brushes, you know, that's an artist's prerogative as to what brush they like to work with best and what works for them. You're going to want a natural sponge. You're going to need watercolors. Pan watercolors will work just fine, but I like to work with tubes. I'm not particular about the brand that I use. In fact, I've got 3 different brands here. I am going to be working with a primary palette. So I have lemon yellow, alizarin crimson, and cobalt blue. This particular palette makes a really pretty purple that's going to work really cool with the flowers that I've chosen, right? So, and I like these plastic trays like this. What I do is I have several, and then I load up different combinations of the primary colors. And then, you know, I can just pick one up and use it when I need to. That's just me. You'll need a water container with fresh water. I am using a shower board for my base because, of course, it will take the water. So, let's get started, shall we? All right, so the very first thing that I'm going to do is get my paper completely wet. And this is going to give me basically the background for going into the negative space painting. I'm going to take my clean sponge and squeeze water all over this. And I'll do it 2 or 3 times. I want this nice and good and wet. And then I'm going to flip it. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is kind of look at my resource image that I have here and figure out kind of where I need to block in some colors. And I'm not going to worry too much about the shape or anything else. I just want to block in colors. So I'm going to set that aside where I can see it. And I'm going to come through with my big brush and mix up my purple. So what I'm doing right now is mixing up my colors. All right, put it there, my brush, and pull that in. I made a pretty purple. I love that purple. Yeah. Beautiful color. Beautiful color. Right? And then I'm going to work some yellow over here. Now I don't want to contaminate that yellow. So I'll have some yellow here, just plain yellow, and I'll have my green. All right? So you'll notice that I am cleaning my brush after each dip, and there's some green. And of course I can change up the colors as I'm mixing, right? So the first thing I want to do is think about where my focal point is going to be. Ooh, I got stuff on there, which is going to be just fun. It's all right. Anyway, I want there to be kind of a highlight right in here in the burst of that center of that flower. So I'm going to try and stay away from that. And I'm just going to swipe some colors. Okay, and some yellow on there. These are where the leaves are, you know, right? Just swiping color. That's all I'm doing. And then I'm going to swipe the purple where I think that flower is kind of be. I have a little bit of a goober here. It just, I don't know, dropped or something out of the brush, which is fine. So I'm going to let that be the very center of that flower. And I'm going to put some color right here, color right here. But I want to stay away from the white, the very white there, okay? There's another little purple flower right in here. And I'm just going to put a few, you know, whatever. Yeah, right? And now I'm going to have fun. We're going to sprinkle. I like this part. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle some stuff on there. This just kind of makes it exciting, right? You probably want to wear an apron so you don't splatter yourself. Okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is go with this lighter yellow, maybe add a little bit of green to that, so that I want to keep my values for this first layer still kind of light, right? And I probably will be using the big brush because I've got a big area to cover. So we'll go with this bigger brush and let's begin. And then what I'll do is I want to let that kind of fade out into that distance so I don't get a hard line anywhere. And you can see I'm kind of pulling out this flower at the same time, right? Now let's see, let's put a leaf over here. Draw around that. And the fun thing is that these leaf shapes are very simple. That's why I don't have to worry about drawing them with a pencil first. They're just little loops around. I can jagged, you know, like I did here. I did a little bit of jagged around there to give it a little bit more interest. Now I'm just kind of working fast. I need to do that with some other leaves. And again, I am identifying the petal on this flower as I go. Luckily, the color that I've chosen is not really a staining color. That means it's blending pretty nicely as I go around. There are some colors that are what I would call staining colors that will soak into your paper pretty quickly and leave you some hard lines that you might not care for. And that's, again, why I'm working kind of fast. what my goal is I want this one big flower to be maybe my focal point. I might do a little bit of dancing around on this flower just because it has a kind of a stranger shape to it. But I want those to be softer leaves. So I'm going to come through with a little bit of water and kind of soften that just a little bit. So it's a little bit blurry, but I want this leaf. Oh, I forgot to do a double leaf. There we go. I want that leaf to kind of pop in a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now the goal is to let this dry just a little bit and figure out my next set of leaves. So I'm just going to paint. I'll put this on fast mode. Get a little darker green here. Probably need to mix up a little bit more. All right. Now let's see. If we put another leaf here. Now, as I'm working, I need to look at this holistically. That means step back, look at it. You don't want the sameness everywhere, so we need to think about where we want the darks and the lights to be balanced. Right now I've got kind of a dark spot here and kind of a light spot up here, and I kind of like that, so I may kind of leave that. But I'm not sure that I like this light spot down here. So I'll come in and work on that a little bit maybe.